Now, Miss Click, Spawnwave. Are you guys excited? It's finally confirmed. Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. This is what everybody was waiting for. I have to be honest. I was expecting, whenever they announced the Nintendo Direct, they said it was going to be mainly focused on Mario Tennis Aces. What's the full title? Mario Tennis Aces? Mario...
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
All right, so I was expecting it to be that. I was expecting at least like 5 minutes of the Direct to be focused on Nintendo Labo. A lot of people were saying, Jesse, do you think Smash Brothers is going to get announced? In my head, I was like, there's no way they're going to do that. I'm wrong. Nintendo turned me into a fool because they announced Smash Brothers in one of the most epic things in general that has to do with Splatoon.
It was a great trailer.
Yeah,
it was a great trailer.
The reveal, I couldn't have thought of a better way to reveal it, because at first I was thinking, is this like a one-on-one Splatoon battle mode? Nope.
Some people thought it was gonna be a movie, or maybe like a tease on, you know, something completely different, a remastered of Splatoon 1.
Yeah,
dude, it was great. I was literally like probably an hour before the stream even happened. I was tweeting Liam Robertson. We were tweeting back and forth, and I was basically saying like Smash for Switch, right, sarcastically, and he's just like, no, there's no way it's gonna absolutely happen. And then immediately after the stream ended, he tweeted back at me, and he's like, ... Well then, and it was just so funny because so many of us were not expecting it. And I personally, when the trailer started, I was like, this is so cool. This is an amazing cinematic. But I personally, for me, I did not think it was going to be Smash. So it completely caught me by surprise. And seeing some of these people's reactions, they're shouting Smash right from the beginning. And I'm like, I was not. It came out completely out of left field for me.
I 100% did not believe anything to do with Smash Brothers was going to be announced or even hinted at. But they did, and it completely blew my mind, proved me wrong. So, but yeah, what was your initial reaction to this, John?
Oh, it was boring.
He knew
are people excited for Smash? But no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was really cool to see it. And Nintendo was very self-aware with that trailer that they put out, because they know every time we've had a Direct, people go, Smash Bros is getting announced here for like the past 4 or 5 Directs. Every time they say that, so they knew people weren't going to be expecting it if they just threw up something like Splatoon like that. And everybody had that same exciting reaction when the pupil comes into focus with the Smash logo. But then it turned into a lot of questions as to, is this a new game? Is this going to have new characters? Because we see the Breath of the Wild Link, and it seems to be a new game. So
yeah. All right. So I brought this up because I've seen a few different websites, and they have a few different guesses on what the characters are. But I thought it would be cool to sort of run through this and get your guys' opinions on the characters that they have listed, because there was at least the beginning roster shown off. At the very end of it, you could see like the shadows of everyone. Some of them are really obvious, like Bowser, and we've seen close-ups on Mario and Link, but there are other characters who they're kind of guessing if it's this person. So this website is Game Rant, and this is their suggestions, and they have high certainty, low certainty, or moderate certainty on how confident they are about who this is. So this goes from left to the right. They have 19 characters listed, and everybody in the comments, you can play along with us and let us know if you think these are the characters. So it starts out from the very left with Yoshi. It says high certainty. The shape of Yoshi's head is easily identifiable here, along with the greenish color of the light's reflection. So with Yoshi at number 1, if you guys have this pulled up, what do you think? Do you think it's Yoshi? Yes, no, maybe?
I mean, I don't know what else it would be. It'd be very weird looking if it wasn't Yoshi.
I mean, we're asking if Yoshi's going to be in.
Well, I think it's obvious if it is going to be Yoshi.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it's going to be Yoshi's there. Yeah.
Right. Number 2, they have Pit, Marth, or Ike, and they have low certainty. And they say the figure's traits stand out but are unclear: wings or pauldron, feather headband, or sword pommel. So what do you guys think about that? It's like match up Yes, no, could it be
I
one
thought
of
it was
those?
Bo. I thought it was Pitts Bo, to be honest,
All
when I
right.
first saw it.
So
This is amazing. Wow, people get really into it. My favorite
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about this is there's a good chance that they just threw some of those silhouettes in there just to mess with people. And more than likely, honestly, they probably just drew this up and they're like, "Oh, throw a couple silhouettes in there,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to mess with people."
all right. So to kind of speed this up a little bit, what I'm going to do is, because there are 19 of them, it'll take a little bit of time to get through all of them. I'm just going to read the number, the name, and I'll have, on the edited version of this, for everybody watching later on YouTube,
I'll picture it.
I'll have the image up there as well, so you can see and kind of give your guesses as well. But we're just going to go through really quick. I'll give the number, the name, read off what it says, and then you guys can just say yes or no, or the character that you think it is instead. All right. So number 3 says, Donkey Kong, high certainty. That giant head and banana stem hairstyle is recognizable anywhere.
Nah, man, that's Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy.
I was gonna say, dude, Donkey's predictions are spot on.
Yeah.
Number 4, Mewtwo, Falco, or Rosalina. Low certainty. With a sloped head and no other identifiable characteristics, this figure is one of the biggest mysteries. So, very low certainty that it could be Mewtwo, Rosalina, or Falco. What do you guys think?
It's really hard for me to tell, to be honest. Unless you were like freaking FBI agent zooming on that
Yeah.
thing.
I'd be okay with Falco if they brought him in.
All
I'm
right.
okay with Falco.
Number 5, Peach, high certainty. Not only does the crown stand out here, but so does Peach's blonde hair and pink dress.
Yep.
Number 6, Ness or Lucas. Moderate certainty. Short and with a round head, this figure appears to be Ness with his baseball cap.
Yep. I think that's nasty. Yeah.
Number 7, Bayonetta, low certainty. Bayonetta's now a Nintendo franchise. I think that's a very debatable statement. But would she be featured so prominently in a Super Smash Bros. Teaser?
Well, did you see all the stuff that Hideki Kamiya was saying on Twitter? It sounds like it is a Nintendo franchise at this point. He actually unblocked me recently, so I can read what he was saying now.
Go ahead and read that off.
I have to look it back up, but he basically went into detail about how no one was going to fund the second Bayonetta 2. People
I was
passed
gonna
on
say,
it.
yeah.
Sega even stopped funding it. Nintendo funds it, brings it to the finish line, and now Nintendo is fully funding the third one.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's basically a Nintendo franchise.
I was gonna say, it only makes sense. I mean, that's what you get.
Yeah, like
Sega's apparently licensing the stuff. So
I say, like, I brought up the debatable thing because they, like, in the interviews, they were very open about, hey, Bayonetta, everyone complaining about Bayonetta 2 only being on Wii U. The game wouldn't even exist if it were not for Nintendo. So they've mentioned stuff like that in interviews. And then the game did eventually come to other consoles and PC and stuff. And now it's come full circle, coming back to the Nintendo Switch. So just, like, it's weird because 1 was in different places, 2 was a Wii U game originally, like a first-party, not a first-party exclusive, but it was an exclusive for the Wii U. But we've seen the same thing with Zombie U, which started out as an exclusive, and then it later went to other consoles and stuff. So I'm not sure if I would call it like a Nintendo exclusive franchise or whatever, but I mean, maybe, like, if it continues, I think they may do the same thing.
Would you call at this point Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game on the PS4, a Sony game? Even though Insomniac's making it, which is a studio that's worked on Xbox games as well.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, it's a bit off topic, but is Spider-Man, the film rights is owned by Sony.
The film rights are, yes, but not
the game
necessarily
rights,
just the game rights
aren't.
Right.
So it's just coincidence that it ended up.
It's a confusing mess, but yeah, I think they struck a deal and got the game rights so they could keep it exclusive to the PS4.
All right.
But people see Spider-Man as a Sony games product even now because of that. Even though Spider-Man's been on like everything.
Yeah, the original PlayStation 3 font, I remembered they took that from the Spider-Man game font. So a little bit of fact. All right, so moving on to the next. We just finished with number 7. Number 8, Mario. High certainty. Note that Mario appeared to be wearing Cappy in his teaser close-up with Cappy's eyes just edging out of the shadow. I think that...
Wait a minute, Mario's in this game?
I guess so.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Check this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it could... My guess is it's just like Wario after a strong diet.
Wario absolutely needs to be in this Smash, by the way. or at least Waluigi. Waluigi needs to be in this.
Yes.
Number 9, Link, high certainty. Like Mario, this is the latest iteration of Link. He's sporting his Breath of the Wild hair and outfit. I hope this game gives... we'll talk about this briefly after we go through all the names. But I hope this is the updated, like the most recent character models for everyone. And yes, the skill set.
I hope so. Yes.
Link has always... His grab has always been like his hook shot or claw shot, long shot, whatever the newest iteration of the game is. Yeah. So my guess... quick spoiler for the upcoming discussion. My guess is he uses something akin to like the Magnesis rune, to where you see like a blue energy wave coming out, grabbing the character, and that pulling them towards Link instead of the hook shot. So
interesting.
That's where my guess is, unless they just break.
You think they'll retain the same cell shaded look that they have in Breath of the Wild and everything?
I would hope so. Maybe a more realistic just filter on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, like I was just slightly pissed off that Smash 4, like they kept Zelda the same, and Link, like they changed him just enough, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah, Smash 4.
Twilight Princess.
The Link, like he has his own unique.
His face is
style,
different. Yeah.
From any other.
Yeah, I was
things.
like, yeah.
Kind of what they did with Mario Kart as well.
Yes.
But moving on, number 10, Luigi. High certainty. Finally, Luigi gets to stand center stage with his brother. That would be hilarious if his up jump or whatever had something to do with the balloons, since his appearance in Odyssey. But anyways, number 11, Sheik/Zelda. Moderate certainty. It sure looks like Sheik, but would Nintendo keep her instead of switching to Breath of the Wild's Zelda?
I mean, a lot of people liked Sheik, from what I remember.
Yeah,
if they got rid of Zelda, dude,
they split the character.
they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, they split the character into 2 separate characters in the Wii U version. So I think you will get the Ocarina of Time or Hyrule Warriors Sheik, but then you'll get Breath of the Wild Zelda. As long as it's not Skyward Sword Zelda, because I don't see Skyward Sword Zelda like fighting anyone.
Just because she's small doesn't mean she's not aggressive. All right, listen here.
She's too nice.
Don't doubt us, small women.
She's too nice. She's like
when's that game getting remade?
Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
My guess is, next year is my guess.
Ooh,
because
interesting. Okay.
A quick tangent, but I've said this so many times.
You are the Zelda guy. So.
Yeah. So
help me out here.
Breath of the Wild came out 2017. Nothing announced yet for 2018. But my thought has always been,
you're playing on that engine recycle.
2018 is the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time. What is a better way to have a tribute for the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time than to have an HD, like an official HD remake of the game? Whether it is just bringing over the 3DS remake and up-resing it with new textures and everything, so that they could do something like that, or they could do what a lot of the fans are doing and attempt to remake it with a completely new engine or something to make it even more like graphically advanced. But with Skyward Sword, I see that eventually coming in like 2019 maybe.
Okay.
And then whatever the new Zelda game is, the Breath of the Wild follow-up, coming in 2020. I don't think they would.
I think they're going to get that out in 2020. Interesting. Okay.
Well, it wasn't until the most recent home console games that they actually took a long time to develop them. Like Ocarina of Time took a long time, but it was the very first 3D Zelda game. Majora's Mask famously like only
2 years after.
Well, they made it in a year, but then they like held off and released it like when it was 2 years apart. Wind Waker only took like 2 or 3 years to come out, because that was 2000 to 2002, I believe. So all of Wind Waker, that was like 2-3 years. I don't know how long it was in pre-production. But then you get to Twilight Princess. And the reason Twilight Princess took so long was because they were in the middle of making Wind Waker 2. And Nintendo of America was like, hey, you can't do this. Nobody likes this art style. You have to change it. So
That's a shame. I like that
Yeah.
art style.
Yeah, so the idea of Wind Waker 2 was put in Phantom Hourglass for the DS, and then what they were working on as Wind Waker 2, they had to redo all of the character models, all of the assets. So they were like halfway through with this game, and they had to change it from cartoony to realistic. And that's why that game took so long. And then Skyward Sword took so long because they had to keep working with the limitations of the Nintendo Wii while getting the motion controls completely right. And then Breath of the Wild took so long because they were working on the physics engine. And then,
Don't you think they'd rather build an engine for the Switch itself rather than use the one that was built for the Wii U?
well,
Like if they want to build an entire new engine and everything for the Switch?
I look back at what Naughty Dog said about Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us, where they said that because they were asked if they were going to be using a new engine for the PlayStation 4, and they said that the engine that they had developed for like The Last of Us and some of their prior games was so good that they didn't need to work on a brand new engine. They could still use it and like push the PlayStation 4 to its limits. And I kind of see the same thing with the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. Like, I'm sure if they would have like created a brand new engine from the ground up to specifically take advantage of what the Nintendo Switch has to offer, then Breath of the Wild could have looked identical, played exactly the same, but because the engine itself would have been optimized for only the Nintendo Switch as opposed to two completely different architectures with different CPUs, different amounts of RAM and everything. If they could have just worked on the one version, I imagine they could have gotten Breath of the Wild running at 1080p instead of 900p, and then possibly even like at a constant 30 frames per second instead of having the dips. But anyways,
yes, that was my one question: is if they redesign a whole new engine for it, if they'd get rid of a lot of those issues with performance, because the Wii U, the CPU in the Wii U is from the same family that the GameCube was in.
yeah.
So, like, I feel like you designed for something that was out in 2015 with the Switch, the Maxwell, chip in there. You'd probably get better performance overall. I don't know, it was just something I was thinking about.
Yeah, they could always like recreate a new engine or build a new engine from the ground up, but I think I was reading an interview where they said that the Wind Waker engine was just a customized, like a heavily modified, customized version of the Zelda 64 engines. But then Skyward Sword was also a modified version of the Twilight Princess engine, which was a modified version of the Wind Waker engine. So like the same engine that they used in Ocarina of Time was just built on, and new stuff was added, and it was optimized and customized until from Ocarina of Time to Skyward Sword, you're getting the exact same engine, basically. Like different revisions of it, but it's still like the same basic thing. But anyways, that's going on a tangent. I apologize. Someone mentioned Zelda, I can go on for hours. So,
Sure.
Number 12, we have a Pikachu. They say high certainty it could be Pichu, but it's probably not.
It's probably not.
I hope we do see Pichu, but I do expect it to be Pikachu. I don't think Pikachu's ever been absent from any of the games. 13, we have Kirby or Jigglypuff. High certainty this is most likely Kirby, since Jigglypuff's hair isn't noticeable.
Right, yeah, it's probably Kirby.
Yeah. 14, Samus, and we only have a few more left after this. High certainty. No Zero Suit here. This is classic Varia Suit. Samus, did I pronounce that right? Varia Suit? Varia Suit?
Varia. Potato.
Yeah.
We know and love. And then 15 is another big guess from them. They say it's either Shulk, Marth, or Captain Falcon. Three very completely different characters there that they're guessing on this. They say low certainty, this mysterious figure has become a catch-all for missing characters. What could be Shulk's Monado is behind them?
Monado, yeah.
Monado,
Sword.
yeah.
Okay. But
Sword.
it may be something else entirely. Number 16, they have Bowser High Certainty. But then they say, well, it could be another giant dinosaur turtle monster. 17, Fox High Certainty with Fox's ears and a furry head and a short disposition. This could also be a Pokemon. Number 18, they have Ganondorf or Captain Falcon. Low certainty, another mysterious figure that could be a missing regular. Not the odd reflection, or note the odd reflection, there's a typo there, at around their waist height. And then finally, number 19, they have Wario, Olimar, or Slippy. Moderate certainty, this is likely Wario with his silly helmet, goggles, and ears. Now, the question I want to ask you guys,
Yeah.
this is probably the most popular question, but who do you want to see featured in this game? And do you want... Okay, so three quick questions. Who do you want to see featured? New character, never been in Smash before. Second question, do you want this to be like a Super Smash Bros. Deluxe, to where it is all of the base content, like we've seen from the Hyrule Warriors being ported to the Switch? We've seen
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and
Yep.
then what was the other that I think of that I'm trying? Pokken Tournament. I wanted to say Pokemon Tournament, but Pokken Tournament. Pokken Tournament is probably the best example because it was the base game. It had all of the DLC included, but then it also had DLC release for only the Switch version.
Oh.
So you get stuff that was never even available in the original game. And I think the rumor was for the longest time that this version of Smash Brothers is going to be a combination of the Wii U and 3DS version. So you get the cartoony stages, or like the cartoony art style, the cell shadedness from the 3DS version, but you also get all of the content from the Wii U version, and you get all of the DLC added in as the base game. But I think just like Pokken Tournament, and as well as DLC did sell for Smash Brothers on the Wii U and 3DS, they would be stupid to not release even more DLC. Whether this is a new Smash Brothers game or a deluxe version, it would be very stupid for them to not release DLC. So, yeah, I guess those are the questions. What character do you want to see, and which version of the game do you think it is? Do you think it's a new version or a deluxe version? And third question, what version of the characters do you want these to be? We've seen like the Odyssey version of Mario. They said you could like see the bottom of Cappy's eyes. Very obviously Breath of the Wild Link. So do you want it to be with all of the other characters, whatever their most recent forms are, or do you want to see them come up with original art styles for the game? So 3 questions. Took a long time to get my thoughts out there, but yes.
I guess you need Crash Bandicoot in there.
Yes.
He's now on Nintendo
Yes,
system. That's
yes.
easy.
Yes.
Put him in there. That shouldn't be tough at all. And you got to make his level outside of Nintendo headquarters, because he would sit outside with his megaphone. You can give him like that megaphone and everything. Have the security guard run through. There's a lot of fun stuff there. As your other question, I guess I'd rather them be more original characters. Like you said, use the more up-to-date characters like the Odyssey Mario, the in this case Breath of the Wild Link. The reason they used obviously him as a silhouette, we all recognize that. We might not have recognized the Cappy Mario. We all recognize that Link. It's going to be, I'm pretty confident it's going to be a new Smash Bros. It sounds like Sakurai started working on it actually a while ago.
It's just been
which
silent about it, yeah.
Which is crazy. And there also, they don't have Bandai Namco's name on it at all in copyright.
Oh, that is weird.
That's
that was
missing.
the big rumor that it was Bandai Namco working on
So
it.
that's missing. Well, they worked on the Wii U version. So if it was a definitive edition, they would probably still be on there.
Yeah.
And if it was a definitive, I feel like they would have just told us outright. It would have been like Super Smash Bros. Definitive or Smash Edition or something like that from the Wii U. It sounds like they're going to give us the title. If anything, I keep saying they don't need a title for Smash Bros. Anymore. Just make it Super Smash Bros. And then just update it almost like a games as a service type thing where you just keep getting updates. I don't really know what else they need to add to the Smash Bros. Formula that hasn't already been done. How can they make this one vastly different from the Wii U version? Just keep a base game that we all buy, and then I guess we have to buy it again on the next system, and then just give us the updates, really. Catch us up time.
That's a really great idea from you.
It would work with
keeping it as like a game for the platform.
Yeah,
because
people don't have to keep rebuilding their tournaments.
Yeah, the idea that I had, I mentioned this. We had Daniel and Holly on the last podcast, and I mentioned that with they don't really need to make a new version of Smash Brothers because moving from Melee to Brawl. A lot of people didn't really like the Wii version of Smash Brothers. It took away some of the stuff that a lot of people...
competitively, it wasn't able to function the same way, and characters felt completely different.
Yeah.
It was a total weight difference.
But moving from Brawl to the Wii U and 3DS version, even the 3DS version played fantastically. But the point that I was trying to make is where a lot of people complained about Brawl, I didn't really see a lot of people complaining about the Wii U version. So instead of taking the risk and building a brand new Smash Brothers game, why not just build upon what you already have? Because if it's not broke, don't fix it is the saying. Yep. So nobody was really complaining about Smash Brothers for the Wii U. So there's not really a point in trying to make it better. Because
I mean, you could end up at a 100-man roster at some point.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It makes me think about if any of you ever played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
No, never got to.
I like that. Yeah, that one was good. That one's expensive now, though, from what I remember. It's hard to find. On the Wii, I think it's really hard to find.
It had a super, super huge roster of if I remember correctly, I want to say it was either 180 something characters or 300
but
characters.
didn't they split up regular Goku from Super Saiyan Goku, and those were 2 characters?
Yeah. They counted each individual characters, and then you also had GT Goku and normal.
So
Goku.
it was just basically clones.
Yeah,
kinda very slightly different move sets, but yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I think because I'm also really big into the Blizzard realm. I think Blizzard is probably my second biggest, as far as games done right. I love the way Blizzard approaches things, and
Bring
I
Overwatch
honestly
to Switch.
I don't know if that would work. I mean, PC is pretty much the only way you can play Overwatch, but it would be so cool if what they did for this is, give us the baseline game, but then keep giving us the additional content. I mean, they could even, very well give us, DLC packs where, you have additional skins that you add in. Because they haven't really necessarily brought in DLC packs that have different skins or different appearances. They could totally, take polls from people of, oh, I want this, skin or that skin, and also just keep giving us that. You're paying the base price, but keep adding on to the game. And I know they did a lot with the new characters, obviously, and with they did that with costumes and stuff like that too. But I agree, don't necessarily change maybe the way it performs, but I would like to see new skill sets from certain characters, like we were talking about with Link and stuff, and Zelda. I mean, get rid of her down B because that's just atrocious. And I mean, I would like to see personally, you look forward to, seeing different skins, or have all the skins already in there, I guess. But, Breath of the Wild, you brought in so many of those cosmetics, why wouldn't you include them now?
Yeah.
I think that'd be very, very cool too. Versus, debating on should this be, more the original, look Ocarina Link, or you want the Breath of the Wild Link, which we already know what we're getting, but still it'd be cool to scroll through and realize, I can actually play as all the Links if I want to.
Yeah. I was talking to Ashley, who one of the moderators in the chat right now earlier, but she and I were talking about instead of giving us traditionally they would give you with adult Link, it would be here's green tunic Link, here's red tunic Link, here's blue tunic. Instead of doing that, give us Ocarina of Time Link, here's Breath of the Wild Link, Twilight Princess Link. We already seen the different shades and the different detail sets in Breath of the Wild for the different costumes. If you wear Twilight Princess Link tunic, it's a little bit more detailed. You can kind of see the stitching a bit better. It's a little bit darker. Skyward Sword Link's a bit more cell shaded, bright green. The baggy pants. So in Smash Brothers, if they had that to where this one looks like Mario from Super Mario 64. This one looks like the Cappy with the eyeball hat, and then even like Minish Cap Link. They could add in Eslo, so then you have like Link. Link has his own talking hat, like Mario does. Everyone gets a talking hat.
Yeah.
Why not? All right. So, does anyone have any final thoughts on this? They announced 2018. Do you think they're going to keep that date? Do you think it's going to be delayed into 2019? Do you think this game pushes other big games out of the way? John, you mentioned earlier that because of this, you don't think Metroid is going to be making it into 2018?
Well, they've been planning this Smash Bros. Release for a while because it's coming out in 2018 for a reason. It's coming out to help launch the online service. That's why it's there. And they're going to launch Smash in September, more than likely alongside that online service, and then they'll probably launch Pokemon in November.
All right.
That's
good point. I'm not expecting Metroid late 2019, maybe 2020.
No.
I tend to go in with things with like.
I think she's right.
My heart.
I had no expectations.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'm. They showed a JPEG, essentially. For the review.
I mean, think about their lineup coming up, Jesse, that we know about. Yoshi is going to come out probably this fall. Fire Emblem's coming out this fall.
Kirby already has
Smash,
a demo.
Pokemon. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff we know about. I mean, what if there's an Animal Crossing also slated for this holiday? Yeah, see,
and
they technically don't need Metroid. You know,
there's also the line of 3DS games or games that they would have made for 3DS, like the smaller handheld focused titles. I think they're starting to bring those over to the Switch now as well. So,
I just want a GameCube Virtual Console, man. I want Double Dash.
Double Dash.
I want Double Dash.
All right.